us into a democracy system. When if Africa will wake up and realize that the political system is about division, it is not about unity. Why does people have to go and live off of political parties? Why can't every man just say, I'm running for president? Why do they have to be for a party? Why can't it be an individual? Vote for the best man, not about a party. See, this system is all about division. Now you got people divided, and these people argue. I believe you. Check out my videos. I was in the middle of one when I was in Ghana, when it was time for the elections. Last year, I was there October, November. Their elections in December. I was right there in the middle of the whole gang. I mean, groups of people. I mean, it was like crazy. The energy in these people were like, they gave their heart, blood, guts, and tears into this candidate of who they were supporting. And you better not come out of your mouth and talk about yours during that time, or you can lose your life. This is very disappointing that I see that we have subscribed to a Western governmental system when we are Africa and we can find our own system that works best for us. It's disheartening to me. On to the next one. Y'all gotta check my videos I got coming out right here. Oh, I love Namibia too. You know, Namibia is another beautiful country. All the countries I visit all the countries I visit in Africa, all our people are beautiful. You know, because we need to tear down the borders of Africa and realize our family members are across the borders in some of these countries. We are a migrating people, and yet we want to call ourselves these names that are European names, and yet realize we should be standing for who we are, a one people. But we need to change that mindset, family. The next thing. I thought that Africa had strong African spiritualities, systems in place beyond Christianity and Islam. Now, it does exist. You still have some old traditions, and everybody has their own thing. I ain't beating up on nobody and nobody's faith. I just was entertained today, about an hour ago, of some guys dancing and showing me some of the dances and the singings they do here in Namibia and African, you know, the African old school traditions, you know, and they share with me like this is what you know our people do in the villages, and they, you know, we will dance and sing. It'll be sometimes good and sad. It could be weddings. It could be whatever. But you know, we used to, you know, do these things, you know, and you know, sing out to our ancestors and all these things right here. And I'm like, wow, that's beautiful. But in the same breath, he was like, yeah, so, you know, he's Roman Catholic. And I see the Catholics, I see the Christians and the Baptists, or I've seen more Kingdom, Jehovah Witnesses. I've seen Jehovah Witnesses here. I've seen the Catholic, of course, Catholics is everywhere. You know, very few Muslims I've seen. When I'm talking about here, I'm not necessarily talking about Namibia, but it seems as though that's Muslims are more when you go further a little bit up north from what my experience and all that right there is. But it was disheartening to see that in this belief systems, there are more, of course, you'll find the Christianity and the Muslims that are predominantly in the areas that I have been going through, that some of the African spiritualities have been put aside. Now, that's not banging on nobody. But now, the guy asked me a question. He asked me this today. He said, what do you think the reason why we, as Africans, have a hard time or a tough time here in Africa when we seem like we're struggling in life and all that right there? I said, well, you know what? I mean, you just mentioned it. When you allow outsiders to come in and give you something to replace it with that you've been doing for tens of thousands of years, and they've given you something that you should be following or worshiping, what have you, and then all of a sudden now you're caught into slaveries, you're caught into being colonized, you're being caught into all these things, and then you're told to what to worship and how to do this right here, and you're still on the bottom. Shouldn't something click and say, maybe we need to go back to before the people who came in here and switched us up, took away our spirituality, took away our languages, took away our names, took away our different systems or moral systems and our belief systems. We should not stop and think before we not invited, but we have allowed those to come in Africa, and then they took our kindness as a weakness, and then all of a sudden then took advantage of it, took us out from the Arab slave trade, Sahara slave trade, took us out from the Atlantic slave trade, planted different, whether you want to call it buildings, cathedrals, whether you want to call it churches, whether you want to call it mosques, whatever you want to call it. You can find in the history of Africa, the slavery has been by those that we are now worshiping, the very religions that were given us. And then people want to know, why are we struggling as a people? Now there again, I'm not here banging on any religion. That's your right, that's your belief. What I'm saying, can we stop to think about before outsiders came in, were we doing just fine?
I go back at the goat. What am I
That's all I'm saying.
of enough issues
Because I was asked that question many times since I've been here.
I'm going to focus
What do
on
you
money
think about that?
and
What do you think about this? What do you think about them? What do you think about what's going on?
Spiritual,
I'm going to share what I think.
Him don't go as broad as go black. Him them have more views.
Because
more,
to me,
keep it as real.
If you don't see prosperity in your people, you don't see a growth in your people, you don't see that there's a freedom for your people, you don't see that everything is up the part of where it used to be, which you said that your ancestors told you was, and how you know it was, somebody's got to stop to think. Hold up now. So when all of this happened, we were divided up, when we were sent out from the east of Africa, from the west of Africa, into slavery, what happened? So that is a little disappointing to see that those who have these belief systems and they're struggling and they're holding on to different beliefs that, in my opinion, is holding them back because of this commitment to maybe something that's not rewarding you in the way you should. Can we think about it? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. What else now that I used to think of, that thought what I believe that was all that for Africa, and I'm coming to find out that not necessarily so. Africa is fighting so much to be like the Western world. Damn Erica. Put the D in front of America, capitalize the E, damn Erica. I have found that, of course, in certain countries or certain areas, I'm watching the youth being transformed to like Black America. I'm watching the youth behaving and dressing, talk like, walk like, want to be like, and they don't even realize what's coming down the road. They don't realize they're subscribing to damn Erica, and they don't even know the truth of damn Erica. They think that all Black people in America, or damn Erica, is rich and got money. They think that we, there in America, are living high on the hog. And so now when we see that these systems, these capitalistic systems that are going up, and there's nothing wrong with advancements in technologies and buildings of cities and stuff like that, but there's a cost that is associated with it. But when you see the youth, because we know you can almost predict the future of a country by the youth. What the youth is in is what's going to tell you how the future's going to be.